Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Today, I have a few things to talk about. Some are good and some are not so good. So, I'll start with saying it was my birthday on Monday and I had such a good time. It was the simplest of birthdays, but it was very easily the best of birthdays. And it was really good because I had so many people reach out to me and so much love was poured out to me. And it just made me realize that I think I focus too much on people who don't love me. And I really should learn to focus on how much people love me, like look at the positive side, because really so many people actually do love me. I don't even know why, but they do, and I'm really grateful for it. I'm so grateful for it. The really few that don't love me, honestly, I really shouldn't even care because they're like so few and so minute. And when I think about it, they don't even matter. So we really should all focus on people who do love us because trust me, they're much more than the people that don't. I think it's just the black sheep mentality, when the story in the Bible, like the sheep that gets lost, and we always want that one last person that doesn't love us to love us, but really that person doesn't matter. Just focus on people that love you. Anyway, today I have a few things on my mind. First of all, if you haven't subscribed, please do subscribe. It helps. It helps tremendously. It really does help. So please click the subscribe button now. Just go back and click it now and continue watching. Right. So I did my birthday backdrop by myself. I know you probably saw it. Lots of people saw it. People loved that picture and people thought it was professional, but no, it wasn't professional. I did it all by myself. I just used an old fleece blanket and put up some artificial plants, and that was it. Really. And I took pictures with my phone as well. Very easy, simple, last minute idea. The last minute idea that I came up with, and it turned out really nice. So if you want to do something similar, just go on my I've written about it on my blog, and you can go there and just read about how I did it and some of the things I used. I've linked them in my blog. I'm going to link them down below if you want, and you can always just go and see for yourself. And if you want to do something similar, nice and easy. And yeah. Anyway, so this week, starting from the Memorial Day weekend here in the US, this entire week has just been, or like the past 1 week and change has really just been like one of the worst. It's been the most emotional for me. Like, I wasn't even searching for news the day I found out about the George Floyd case. And I honestly didn't want to talk about it, especially since my channel is about motherhood. I didn't want to bring any unrelated topic. And I also did not want to go into political issues on my channel. But there's only one reason I'm going to talk about it, and that's because of him. Right. I have a black son, and he's going to grow up and he's going to be out there in the world. And I really just hope and pray that by the time he's older, he will not be a threat just because he has this beautiful chocolate skin. I really hope not. It's so bad how much hatred is out there in the world today. And I just really do not want to go into too much detail because, like I said, my channel, I don't want to discuss none of that. It's too negative for me. It's so negative that I don't want to discuss it in too much detail. But one thing I must say is this. I acknowledge and I know what's going on. And it is painful for me. As a mother, he cried out to his mother. Apparently his mom is late, but still, the spiritual side of me feels he probably saw his mother when he was giving up his ghost. But it's the most painful thing. I cried so much. I cried. I've never cried that much in my life for someone I don't know. I cried. It was just painful to watch. And I saw something, some people were saying stuff like, oh, one of the policemen was black. Well, I want you to know one thing. When they talk about racism, they don't necessarily mean, oh, this person just hates black people. What they're trying to say is, the black skin has been so stigmatized, if I may use that word, to the point that merely being black makes you more likely to be suspected of a crime, makes you more likely to be convicted, and makes you more likely to be, a threat, just merely being black. That has to change. And then the other thing I'm going to just briefly mention is that to the people who always say all lives matter. Bobo, can you please sit down? Sit down, please. Thank you. To the people who always say all lives matter, really? Duh. Like we didn't already know that. Stop trying to water down the Black Lives Matter movement. Now that's one. Now let me come to womanhood and feminism and the things I like to talk about. When a feminist comes out and says, I am feminist, people frown at it. People don't like it. People are actually even threatened. I'm going to use this word threatened a lot. People are threatened by a woman that has strength. People are actually threatened when a woman is confident enough to say, I matter as a woman. People are threatened by women that are bold enough to say, I'm feminist, that I stand for women, that I am, that I am all about womanhood. And, even women sometimes are threatened, especially in the African culture, especially in, the country I come from, Nigeria. I don't want to talk about other African countries, but from people, ladies who are Nigerians condemn feminism. A lot of you condemn feminism. You condemn it. You are willing to be the inferior sex. You're willing to be the submissive sex. But then, when the topic of rape comes on, it's you. You. Just because it is a trend, you're the ones who like to come and shout the most. Just because it is a trend. I'm going to plead with you ladies. Try to do things because you believe in them. You really strongly have a value because you know what you're saying. Don't just hop on any bandwagon just because. I see some women now, and when things like this happen, they don't point fingers at men. Look, they don't point fingers at men. They still come back somehow to blame women. Do you know why I'm saying that? Because these women, I've seen some of them on Instagram, they come back and blame women and say, oh, raise your sons. Teach your sons better. I don't hear men. I actually haven't heard this. I have not heard men lead by example. Show your sons better. They still direct the blame to the woman. What are you fighting for? Are you just fighting or shouting just so you can be trend, so you can be a trend? Is that what it is? Anyway, I don't want to go into too much detail. There's a lady whose name is Uwa, I think, that was raped in Nigeria and killed. And the story I hear is that she went to a church to study. Now, I didn't go to university in Nigeria, so I don't really know. But one thing I know is that the infrastructure is not laid down for students in general to actually have a conducive environment to study. My brother did law school in Nigeria. And when he was in school, he told me stories many times about going to uncompleted buildings to study. Could you please sit down, please? Sit down, please. Thank you. Going to uncompleted buildings to study because he was always looking for a quiet place to study. Now, listen to this. If my brother was a woman and he went to an uncompleted building to study and he got raped, some people would say, what was he looking for in an uncompleted building? I don't think I should say too much about this topic because, to be honest with you, this is a topic that really irritates me. Dear women who like to blame other women, just shut up. Don't speak because you really don't have a right to speak on this topic. That's one. Probably that's the only thing I should even say. I really didn't want to talk about things that have more or less annoyed me so much this week in this particular video, but it just turns out that's really the only thing. It's bothered me so much. So I just really had to talk about it. So thank you guys for watching me again today. I really do appreciate it. Thank you for always coming back to watch me. If you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to subscribe and like my video. It really does help. Trust me, it really helps. Yeah, until next time, loves.